Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
From AI-inspired insights from farmers.
If you're enjoying what we're doing here, we'd love to hear from you too.
Absolutely.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely leave a comment telling us what you want to see more of on this deep dive.
We're always looking for new ideas, and we really value your feedback.
So what farm-related mysteries are you dying to uncover?
Right.
What questions are keeping you up at night? Let us know, and maybe we'll tackle them in a future deep dive. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a journey into the future of farming. We're not just talking about growing food, but how you could do it sustainably, profitably, and importantly, with minimal impact on the planet. So this deep dive is really for you, whether you're just stepping into farming, maybe thinking about launching your own operation, or perhaps you're just curious about how our food systems are, well, changing so fast.
Exactly. And we've been looking at some fascinating cutting-edge research. We're digging into ideas like circular economies, where resources keep getting reused and waste is really minimized. And also natural capital, which is basically about valuing the ecological assets, the health of your land. All this ties into what we call climate-resilient agriculture. Our goal here is to pull out the most valuable pieces of information to help you build a farm that genuinely thrives, both for the environment and for your pocket.
Okay, let's start there. This idea of beyond organic. What does truly sustainable farming actually look like on the ground?
Well, one of the really interesting shifts is towards practices like regenerative agriculture and also natural farming. These go further than just, say, avoiding chemicals. They really focus on actively nurturing and rebuilding the health of the land itself. Natural farming, for example, it really emphasizes using local, readily available resources, minimizing those external inputs. And for new farmers, that's a huge benefit. Less dependence on costly purchased materials. Good for the budget and good for the land.
Right, building that healthy soil foundation.
Yeah.
But just as vital, especially now, is water. What are some of the game-changing water-saving techniques emerging? Things that really move the needle for a farmer like you.
Yeah, that's a critical question for, well, any farm, really. We're seeing some impressive innovations, things like smart irrigation.
With sensors and automated timing.
Exactly. Delivering water precisely where it's needed, when it's needed. Much less waste. Drip irrigation, too, is becoming more sophisticated. And extensive rainwater harvesting systems. Think resilient rubber dams, farm ponds, storing significant amounts of water. And for rice, which everyone knows is water intensive, there are techniques like alternate wetting and drying.
How does that work?
Basically, you let the fields dry out periodically instead of keeping them constantly flooded. It can cut water use by, believe it or not, 15 to 30%.
Wow. Without losing yield.
With little to no yield loss, usually. That's incredibly impactful, especially in water-scarce areas. And it saves pumping costs, too.
Okay, so we're saving water, building soil. Now let's talk about something really fascinating. Turning farm soil into a carbon capture powerhouse. How does that actually work?
Right. This connects to the bigger picture. Soil carbon sequestration, sometimes called carbon farming. It's a major solution, actually, both for climate change and for farm resilience. Practices like no-till farming, planting diverse cover crops between cash crops, even managed livestock grazing, they can significantly boost the carbon stored in your soil.
And why is that so important?
Well, get this. Soils globally hold about 3 times the carbon currently in the atmosphere. 3 times.
That's incredible.
It is. So enhancing the storage capacity, it doesn't just pull CO2 out of the air, it dramatically improves your soil health, makes your land more resilient to drought, to floods, and it can even reduce how much synthetic fertilizer you need.
So farmers are essentially becoming climate heroes just by improving their land. That's quite a thought. Which brings me to the practical side again. What does all this mean for the farmer's bottom line? Can these methods actually be more profitable?
Absolutely. That's a key point. These aren't just nice-to-have environmental practices, they're economically sound. Often, they lead to higher returns.
Also,
Take integrated farming systems, combining crops and livestock. The animal manure becomes free, nutrient-rich fertilizer for the crops. Right there, you're cutting down on buying expensive synthetic inputs.
makes sense.
And cultivating hardy, climate-resilient crops, like various types of millets, for instance. They often use less water, they thrive in tougher conditions. That contributes to healthier soil and can lead to better yields with less investment. It's about efficiency. Just managing grazing, properly holistic grazing management, that alone can cut the negative environmental impacts, what we call natural capital impacts, by up to 12% compared to less managed methods. That translates to long-term savings and land value.
Okay, so definite farm-level economic benefits. But how does sustainability scale up? How does it become a thriving business model beyond just the individual farm?
Well, the business of sustainability is really about creating value in multiple ways. Reduced input costs, higher productivity, that's the direct profit boost we talked about. But beyond that, new opportunities open up. Think about value-added products.
Like,
Specialty oils from native crops you might grow, artisanal jams or preserves from your produce, maybe direct-to-consumer sales for sustainably raised meat. Things consumers are increasingly looking for, and we're seeing stronger market access being supported by community initiatives. Things like self-help groups. These local collectives are powerful. Some studies show they've helped increase women farmers' incomes by as much as 35% by fostering collaboration, shared resources, and market negotiation power.
that's significant.
It is, and policy is starting to catch up too, with more support for these kinds of gender-inclusive, sustainable approaches. It makes the whole system more viable.
Right. Now, a lot of farmers might be thinking, this sounds great, but changing how I operate feels risky, maybe disruptive.
That's a very valid concern. And for anyone worried about disrupting their current production, the key really is a gradual, supported transition. You don't need to change everything overnight. That's usually not practical. Maybe start with just one water-saving technique, see how it goes. Or introduce just a couple of climate-resilient crop varieties alongside your usual ones. Look for technical assistance programs, financial incentives, they're increasingly available. And it's worth remembering, many of these newer sustainable technologies are actually labor-saving. So you might be freeing up time, not adding more work. It's this incremental approach, testing and adapting, that lets you see the benefits firsthand without a huge upheaval.
That makes a lot of sense. This deep dive really makes it clear. Embracing sustainable practices isn't just some idealistic goal. It's actually smart, resilient business for anyone looking to farm today.
Indeed. It really is about building a more robust, profitable future for your farm, taking it one intelligent, sustainable step at a time.
So, thinking about all this, what's one small step you might take this week towards creating a more sustainable and successful farming journey for yourself?
We hope this exploration has been valuable. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Hitting that like button and smash that subscribe.